Good afternoon, friends. This is Lee Kersey, the Simple Georgian. This is Cobb Tuesday. I am smoking my Missouri Meerschaum Legend. And then what I have in it is the Sweated from the Muletown Pipe Show from Sutliff, the last hoorah from Sutliff from the Muletown Pipe Show. Mr. Jeremy McKenna was walking around with a big bag of it, giving people samples and bowls or whatnot to smoke, and then of course he was selling it. And I got enough sample to put into one of them little pocket jars, like I showed y'all the other day. And then I bought my brick of it or whatever it was. That he had like one brick for one money or two bricks for another, and the one brick was 8 ounces, so I just bought the one brick. And instead of having to go into it, I'm smoking my sample. So that's what we're having today. It is Cobb Tuesday, and wanted to give some more shout outs. When I first started my channel, I appreciate Raphael and the late Enid Lady Fire, Flat Cap Piper Lady Fire, and Mr. Ed Armchair Piper for sort of kind of giving me a push to get on YouTube. And I really appreciate it. It is I'm starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with it now, I guess, and go from there. And then Jess Piping gave me a shout out, and my viewing and sub count jumped up a pretty good bit at that time. And when I looked at it today, it looked like I had like 83, 85 subscribers, something like that. And I've had, I don't know how many thousands of views so far. And I really appreciate it. Y'all just don't know how much it means to me. I've never really been one to get up in front of crowds and talk. And if you was to see me in a bunch of crowds, I mean, I'll talk to people one-on-one. Going to the pipe shows and stuff like that, I'll talk to people one-on-one, don't have any problem with that. But as far as getting up in front of people, I've never really been one to do that. And I've always been sort of laid back and kind of not standoffish, so to speak, but I just sort of kind of been one to stick to myself and just look at things around me and whatnot, and never really was an outgoing person. And when I started detailing cars back in, 1994, 95, when I got laid off from the paper mill in 95, December 31, 94, I started detailing cars, and I had to get out in the public and operate my business, and that helped me to meet people and to start talking with people and start working things out. And I detailed cars probably, I don't know, I'm gonna say all the way up to 2003 or so. No, longer than that, because the last ones I'd done was up until 2013. I was still detailing cars up until 13. So I've done a couple of, one or two offs here or there. But as far as a business, 13 was the last year that I was actually sort of kind of in business, if you will. I was doing it on the side. When the housing economy dropped in 07, most of my commercial accounts I lost, and I was fighting for custody of my son, and all of that. And the attorney advised me to go get a full-time job with a steady paycheck and insurance. So that's what I done. And but I still detail cars on the side. I kept somewhere in the neighborhood. At one point, up until the economy crashed in '07, I was maintaining in the neighborhood of about 450 cars a month. In a little 15-mile stretch around my area. And I really enjoyed it. I felt like I was accomplishing something because somehow in my finite mind or whatever, I am wired that I have constantly got to learn something. Um, and I've constantly got to not be doing something, but constantly got to learn something. I'm going to pause this for a second and go talk to my neighbor, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back again. Sorry about that, folks. I was talking to my neighbor, letting them know about the fox that we seen on that last video that I had yesterday, and they had just put their chickens out today. So I knew they had chickens because they got a couple of coops out here, and I just want to let them know so they know what to expect. But anyway, as I was saying, I was keeping up with all them cars, so that sort of kind of got me out of my somewhat shyness, so to speak, because I had to deal with the public, and I had to deal with the customers, and if there was an issue, I had to deal with that stuff, like work my way through all that. And out of all them years, I think I might have had one or two problems that I could not resolve, and to the customer's satisfaction, and I just basically gave them the job because I wasn't going to sit there and argue with the customer, and the money wasn't worth it to me, like like that. I'm not saying I didn't need the money, because I did. I was operating a business, but at the same token, I'm the type of person that friendships mean more to me than money. So, but yeah, that. But anyway, what I was talking about is I was scared to get out and talk in public, and I'm still not a big public speaker. But this has opened up a way for me to sort of get some of my thoughts out and, talk to people or what have you. And there's a lot of thoughts that I probably won't say because of it being social media as of sorts. And there's a lot of things that I think and talk about to some people that would be controversial to others. I will never apologize for my beliefs. I will never apologize for my raising and my Southern heritage. I will never apologize for that. But I will also not make it an issue with people either. My family settled here in Georgia back in the late 1770s, mid to late 1770s. And on Mom's side of the family, and as near as I can tell, my family has fought for Georgia ever since the 1770s. My dad's side of the family was traced back to a baby that was dropped off on a porch there in Charleston And the family that owned the porch there at the house, or that owned the house that the porch was attached to, adopted the baby, hence where I got my Kersey name from. So, having said that, my heritage is real deep here in the South, and I will never apologize for that. I want to make that clear. I won't force it down anybody's throat, but I'll never apologize. So, if you hear me talking about a few things that you don't agree with, that's my heritage. I've heard of people talk about things that I don't agree with, and I moved on. I did not get mad. I did not unfriend them. If they unfriended me, that's their problem, not mine. I was raised up strict Pentecostal, and to this day, I do not have a TV. I'm 53. I'll be 53 in August, and I do not have a TV. My son has one. He had one for his little children's movies when I got custody of him. Even though mom and dad did not agree with it for the most part, but we did have one, and for him, just for his movies. That was that and his games. We did not have it hooked up for a TV at all. And like I said, to this day, I don't have a TV. I don't have time for a TV. As I said, my mind is wired. I have constantly got to learn. And the detailing, what I was going to say about the detailing, what I enjoyed about the detailing so much is it allowed me to take something that was dirty and filthy and clean it up. And I actually got to see something that my hands done. I got to see the fruits of my labor, if you will. And I really enjoyed that. So, that's why I enjoyed the detailing so much. But like I said, the attorney advised me, because I was going after custody of my son, the attorney advised me that I needed to get a job where I had a paycheck with insurance every single week. I mean, I made money with the cars, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't steady in 07, 08. The housing economy crashed, and most of my customers were either building houses, plumbers, electricians, concrete workers, stuff like that. That was most of my commercial accounts. I had one of my commercial accounts. He moved up to Truitland County, up the road, and I was not going to drive to Truitland County for a $20 car wash or $30 car wash, whatever it was at the time, because that was about an hour and a half up the road, and it was not worth my time to go up there and do that. Yes, I would have seen my family, because that's where my mom's family is from, but it was not worth it for me to drive that far to clean a car. Now, me and Dad did go up a couple of times and do some painting for him. And I did go up a couple of times to clean and wash and wax his motorhome, his car, and his SUV. Now, that was worth it, because I was there all day, But like I said, what I enjoyed about that job was I actually got to see the fruits of my labor and got to see a clean vehicle when I was done, and I really enjoyed that. I really like working with my hands, and I like to see something accomplished when I get through working. So, but because of my age, and some medical stuff that I'm going through from driving trucks so long now. I can't do that type. I mean, I can do it, for one or two vehicles, but I can't do it day in, day out. So this job that I have is great for me now. I've got a lot more mental stuff I deal with on a daily basis and not as much physical. But I've worked myself into that position. Having said that, my job title is a supervisor over maintenance of the vehicles and the trailers, DOT regulations, the FMCSA, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration regulations, the hazmat training, any of the DOT stuff on the vehicles, as well as the maintenance side of things, and OSHA certifications. That's what my job title is. So I'm a combined supervisor, safety, DOT, and hazmat guy. So, and that come about because of my years in the fire department. I was a volunteer firefighter for 18 years. I was an EMT for most of those 18 years, or first responder. And I've had my hazmat and CDL for over 30 years now. And I've been a safety officer for several truck companies and what we call environmental health and safety specialist on the demo job when I was with an electrical contractor during my apprenticeship. I was in my third year, but because of my OSHA certification and my background with the fire department and EMT, I was the only one on the job with the company in the whole plant with the company that had OSHA, and that automatically bumped me up to environmental health and safety specialist on that job. Even as an apprentice, the general foreman didn't like it, but the engineer said nope. He said, I don't care what you like, this guy's got the training, he's going to be the safety guy. So I mean, I worked on my tools until we needed some safety stuff going on, then I was off my tools. So that worked out to be real good for me. And now that I'm in my later years, it's sort of worked out to be hopefully a good job for me. I've been with this company a month. I still like it so far. And we're dealing with the ports. We're dealing with shipments going overseas. I'm dealing with a bunch of farmers. I'm dealing with a bunch of big corporations like John Deere, Caterpillar, automotive industry, warehouses, any of that stuff like that we have to send overseas or deal with for overseas. I'm dealing with all that. So I'll still get to travel from time to time, and but at the same time, it's a lot easier on me physically. I'm not having to be out here running the road day in and day out like I was with the big truck. So yeah, I really enjoy, I guess you can say the full circle, the way, I guess with the training that I've had owning a few companies and working people, and the training that I've received with the trucking and the fire department and the OSHA training and all, that's kind of sort of put me in a position to where I could have a job like this that, yeah, it's a lot of responsibility. I'm not going to say it isn't, because it is. But it's made it to where I don't have to be as physical with my work now. So, and I enjoy the job, and maybe this will hold me until I can get to the end of my career. Which in that case, that'll be, if I stay the way I am right now, that'll put me somewhere in the neighborhood of about 13 years. If I go to I'm 65, 66. So I may go earlier than that. I don't know yet. We'll just have to see how it goes. So, but anyway, I wanted to make that video and kind of give y'all an update on myself. And go from there. And the Lord willing, I'll be making more videos now that I'm home. And I've still got to, I've promised y'all that I'd make some videos on some more trucking stuff. I'm going to work on that. I've got to dig my Atlas out now. When I cleaned out my truck a month ago, I just throwed everything in a big tub. I had 4 big tubs. I just throwed everything in. A couple of low locks. I throwed my clothes in my suitcase, tools, and cleaned out the truck. And I'm still going through a lot of stuff. So, I mean, I came home on a Tuesday and I was at work on a Wednesday. And then a couple of times over the weekend, I've been helping Dad paint on a couple of projects we've been having on the side. So I really haven't had much time to go through everything like I want to. But I'll get it together and I'll make these videos, because I told y'all I wanted to do some showing y'all what I could do with the travel, show y'all a little bit about how we planned our trips for the trucking, and go from there. And I've promised a couple of people that I'll do, my version of a tobacco review, I guess. I'm still learning my palate, so it's not like I'm really gonna know what I'm talking about. One of the things that I do know I've got to do is I've got to dig some of my blending components out and start going through them, say like a straight Virginia, straight Burley, straight Perique, straight Latakia, straight Cavendish, the Darkfire Kentucky, the regular Kentucky. I've got to pull my blending components out and smoke them each piece at a time, so I could get the taste of that flavor, so I could start getting a better feel of what what I'm tasting in tobacco. The Periques, I've got some St. James Parish Perique from a couple of different companies, and so I'm going to work on that, and hopefully I can start doing some better reviews. And by the way, another thing I wanted to mention, I did see that Matches 860, his videos are back up today. I caught a couple of them. From what I understand, Sergeant Savinelli is operating his page now, and they put his videos back up so you can go back and watch some of Matches 860. His videos has meant a lot to me, even though I never really got to meet the man, John Harden. His videos has meant a lot to me, and he was the cause of me going after some haunted bookshop. Normally I probably would never have tried haunted bookshop, but because of John Harden, I tried it, and I'm glad I did. I kind of like it. So it's going to be in my rotation. And I also seen that I got to learn how to talk if I'm going to stay in front of the camera. I also seen that tobacco reviews is down supposedly for maintenance. Now, if you understand how the system worked, tobacco reviews was owned by Sutliff. And I don't know if they're going to come back up. I was trying to salvage what I could get off of the tobacco review channel pages so I could go through these different tobaccos. And I got probably a third of the way through the tobacco reviews saved because of my time on the road. I didn't have much time to do it. I managed to get what I could, and then when I did come home, I had a lot going on trying to, get stuff ready for this changeover with this job. So I didn't get to save all of it, but I did get about a third of it. And hopefully they'll come back up. But if they don't, we just have to move on. It is what it is. I can't say what is and isn't going to happen with that. I have not heard, but the last I looked, it was down for maintenance. So if it does come back up, great. If it don't, I'm just going to move on with what I've got. I've enjoyed my time with y'all this afternoon. Hope y'all have. And I thank y'all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I want to thank Armchair Ed, or Armchair Piper, Mr. Ed, and Raphael, and the late Enid, Flat Cap, and Lady Fire. I want to thank y'all again for pushing me to get a channel started, because I feel like it's helping me get out of my comfort zone. And I don't know if I'll ever be a motivational speaker, but it is helping me at least get in front of the camera anyway, even if I don't get in front of a big crowd of people. So I appreciate it, and we love everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.